Is this the moment that opened up the championship race? Rangers are up to second, so how will Martin O'Neill and Celtic react to that? We'll get the answer to that at Tynecastle, where tonight it's snowing, but thankfully we've got ourselves a game. Exclusively live here on Sky Sports 3, it's Hearts against Celtic. Well, circumstances have conspired in Rangers' favour over the past week and allowed them to close the gap on Celtic to 6 points. The leaders are in action tonight, facing a Hearts side casting their eyes on 4th place in the table. Charlie Nicholas, how will Celtic respond to Rangers closing the gap, do you feel?
Well, as you said, we'll soon find out tonight. I think they'll be positive about it. I don't think the conditions tonight will help, but I think what we're in for tonight is, as always, Hearts-Celtic is a bruising encounter. I think we'll see the same. It'll be a scrappy affair tonight. Both teams playing the 3-5-2 formation, so it's really a man-against-man situation. But I think if it was to pick an area, would be most interesting for Celtic in particular tonight would be Agath against McInnesby down that right-hand side for Celtic. He's got great pace. McInnesby just joined Hearts. Probably more natural going forward than defending. So that'll be a good contest. But also midfield will be interesting to watch. Lennon and Lambert together for the first time. And of course Severin, Tomacek and Cameron, who loves getting forward and scored quite a few goals against Celtic. That'll be an interesting head-to-head also. OK, Charlie. Well, there's how things stand going into tonight's match. It's Celtic by 6 points over Rangers, with a game in hand, with Hibs now third. A home defeat at the hands of Motherwell yesterday means Kilmarnock are only 4 points ahead of Hearts in 4th place. A home win tonight, and that gap is down to 1. So, let's join our match commentators at Tynecastle, Ian Crocker and Davy Provan.
Thank you, Jim. Well, Celtic have already put 15 goals past Hearts this season, so there are scores to settle, points to prove in a fixture that usually guarantees thrills and spills and skills. And the wintry weather merely adds to it all. Here we go in the snow. Craig Levein makes 2 changes from the side that beat St Mirren here in midweek. Gary McSwiggan and Stephen Boyack drop to the bench. In come Gordon Durie and Scott Severin. Kieran McInnesby is on loan from Fulham, although he came to prominence in his days at St Johnstone. Northern Ireland international Andy Kirk has just agreed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, much as we expected, Ian. Hearts starting with 3 at the back and 5 across the middle. I think Stephen Boyack might be disappointed to be left on the bench tonight after doing so well against St Mirren in midweek. But I do think the introduction tonight of Scott Severin in his place is an indication of Craig Levein's thinking tonight that this might just get a bit meaty, a bit physical, and if that happens, Severin is indeed your man. Tomacek playing central. On the other side of him, Colin Cameron, as Charlie suggested, always prepared to get himself into the box, go beyond the ball, go beyond his front players. Same back 3 that played against St Mirren. Stephen Presley spare tonight. Grant Murray, a terrific man marker. I'd expect to pick up Henrik Larsson, with Gordon Petric on the other side, given the responsibility of picking up Chris Sutton.
Well, the postponement of Wednesday's game at St Johnstone means Bobby Petter is suspended for this one, along with Stilian Petrov. But on the plus side, Jos Valharen has recovered from hamstring trouble. He wouldn't have played in Perth. Johan Mjalby comes in for Tom Boyd. Alan Thompson moves wide, and Paul Lambert makes his first start for nearly 3 months after an ankle operation.
That's a sore one for Tom Boyd, Ian, who I thought did well at Stranraer last Sunday to be dropped down to the bench tonight. But that's the one bonus of the midweek game in Perth being cancelled. Jos Valharen has had another few days to recover from that hamstring. And I think given the importance of the football that Celtic have in front of them this month, he has to be 100%. I don't think they can take any risks with him. Lambert and Lennon, as Charlie said again, playing in the midfield area for the first time. A huge compliment, I have to say, that Paul Lambert has been given the central role, given the money that Martin O'Neill paid earlier on from Neil Lennon. I don't think for a minute you're going to see Neil Lennon charging into the box, getting beyond the front two. I think the two of them will sit reasonably deep and allow Thompson, McNamara and Agat to get forward and try and get at the Hearts back line.
When the old firm come to Edinburgh, it always raises the stakes. Well, Well, you'd forgive Antti Niemi for fearing this fixture. Celtic have put 15 goals past him this season alone, and in his only Old Firm game for Rangers, they put 5 past him. But the Finnish international is actually a lot better than those statistics suggest. Gordon Jury doesn't fancy playing them much either. In his time at Ibrox, he didn't manage to score against Celtic in 15 Old Firm showdowns. Even more reason for him to relish this encounter at the age of 35 now. Paul Lambert came off the bench at Stranraer in the Cup last week, but this is his first start for almost 3 months. There are some who say he's a bit too similar to Neil Lennon, and that perhaps the two can't play together. We'll find out tonight. Lennon has managed 6 wins out of 6 in a Celtic shirt. The man in charge of what is always a fiery contest is Kenny Clark. Celtic's lead at the top of the Scottish Premier League was cut to 6 points yesterday. Rangers are getting a little too close for comfort, but the gap will widen to 9 again if the Hoops see off the Jambos. 20 goals in 3 previous Hearts-Celtic meetings this season, so we could be in for a feast of football on a wild wintry night in Scotland's capital.
Yeah, certainly a big game for both sides, Ian, but certainly in terms of Celtic's title aspirations, absolutely huge. They won't want to give Rangers any encouragement at all before going into that vital Old Firm game. They'll want to go in 9 points clear, and they know they're in for a very stern examination here in the capital tonight.
Bounced off Stephen Presley. Jackie McNamara's header. It's really dull when these two meet. Neil Lennon. Sutton gets a touch. Away by Antti Niemi. Here's Andy Kirk, who's already a full Northern Ireland international, and no free kick.
I think he's unlucky. I think it was taken late by Neil Lennon there. Good run by Kirk, though.
Here's Didier Agat, and it's no great surprise that he's getting booed, because, of course, he used to play in this city for Hibs. Chris Sutton now. It's a rather wayward one, in fact. Alan Thompson has to track back a little. Sutton. He's got the chance to deliver here. It's gone behind Henrik Larsson, and it's going to be cleared by Kieran McAnespie. But Celtic found a bit of space then, and perhaps didn't exploit it as much as they might have done, as Frugel and Lennon get a bit tangled up.
Yeah, it's getting meaty already, and much as we expected tonight. And I think it's important the referee stamps his authority. This was the previous one. Andy Kirk on his way there down the right-hand touchline, taken late.
Neil Lennon's free kick. These games are normally played at a blistering pace. Larsson looking to get away, but Grant Murray is there.
He's a very good man marker, Grant Murray. And there's no question he will be given an out-and-out marking goal on Henrik Larsson tonight.
Hoisted clear by Thomas Frugel, the Austrian international. Andy Kirk trying to make progress, but he found Mulharen in his way. The big Belgian wouldn't have figured at St Johnstone on Wednesday had that game gone ahead because of his hamstring problem. So he's one man who was rather glad that the fog descended on McDermott Park.
That's a daft challenge by Gordon Petric there. Particularly with the better delivery Celtic get from set pieces these days.
Well, the free kick towards Sutton, and what a start for Celtic. Just the start they wanted, and Larsson has struck.
That's a needless free kick to give away, but what a wonderful delivery there. Whipped in between the goalkeeper and the last defender. Larsson reacts quickest. A dream start for Celtic there. It is a terrific delivery from Alan Thompson there. Gets so much action in the ball. It's coming away from the goalkeeper. And Henrik Larsson provides the perfect start for Martin O'Neill.
McInnesby. Here's Johan Mjällby. Well, Hearts continue to leak goals against Celtic. Presley up towards Gordon Jury. And Verhaaren's hurt there. Real problem here for Verhaaren, ironically.
It appears to be his left ankle here. He's certainly not the hamstring injury that was troubling him previous to this game. Tight on Gordon Jury there. It's just as he comes down there, he's taking a twist. Well, Henrik Larsson, what a valuable player he's been for Martin O'Neill this season. Controlled header, gets across the front of Grant Murray, who's picking him up here, but it's a wonderful delivery from Alan Thompson.
Well, Jos Verhaaren is not going to be able to continue, and this is a real blow for Celtic with the Old Firm game coming up next week, and Verhaaren has been absolutely outstanding for them this season, and Martin O'Neill can barely believe his luck on that one, because it doesn't look good for Verhaaren. He's going to be replaced by Tom Boyd. You felt that he was perhaps a little unfortunate to lose his place. He's getting on straight away almost.
I thought he did well last Sunday at Stranraer, Ian, but obviously Jos Verhaaren is an integral part of the Celtic back three these days. Another meaty one going in here. And I think Kenny Clark's going to have his work cut out in the early stages of this match.
So Tom Boyd has come on for Jos Verhaaren. And the Celtic fans and the Celtic management will be hoping that the big Belgian's injury is not too serious, but you have to say, from the way that he cracked and Heap did not look good. Cameron. Sutton putting himself about. Lennon takes over. And that was a rather fierce challenge from Grant Murray on Henrik Larsson, and Kenny Clark is going to have to keep order here.
Yeah, to be fair to Kenny Clark, he's right up with the play there. Grant Murray just letting Henrik Larsson know he's around. Certainly didn't get tight enough at the goal.
Johan Mjällby is going to be on the end of that. Ramon Vega is up there as well. And Hearts can't quite dig it out. Here's Ramon Vega. And Larsson waiting in the middle again. And nearly got there again.
Good block at the front post by Grant Murray. On top of his job that time.
And Thompson putting himself about. I think there'll be a card coming up soon.
Yeah, neither side holding back. I think Kenny Clark will produce a yellow shortly, and I think you're right.
Not that time,
the message out here.
Grant Murray. And it spins off Larsson. Flobal's throw. And then a free kick. Craig Levein, the Hearts head coach, took over in December, having had an illustrious playing career here. It's the first time he's come up against Celtic. Not exactly the best of starts. Hearts fans who will be cheering their team on today. Rangers fans will be as well, having closed the gap on Celtic to 6 points yesterday. Yarby's header. Thompson. McNamara. This is Neil Lennon. Kirk. A little flick for Gordon Jury, but Ramon Vega. Well, he's been hassled by Cameron though, but he's fended off the Hearts skipper. Lambert. A poor touch from Larson. And Colin Cameron could inspire Hearts here, trying to slip it through to Kirk. Sutton. I think that'll be a free kick as well. Gordon Petric and Sutton involved.
Yeah, the two of them have been at it from the first whistle. Similar to the free kick that he conceded for the goal. Not in such a dangerous position this time, but you can see Gordon Petric all over Chris Sutton there with the arms. A bit of afters as well as Sutton's on the ground.
Well, it is the first yellow card of the game, and it goes to Chris Sutton. That's a yellow card that had been coming. Sutton and Presley are at it now. Thompson whips it in. Larson just failed to make contact with that. McNamara finding Didier again. Helped on by Lambert. Ramon Vega felt he was fouled. Sutton rising. Grant Murray aware of the presence of Henrik Larsson, who's now scored 10 goals in his last 5 games. Thompson slapping that one straight out. Hearts up against it already. Didier again. The former Hibs man has got it in for Hearts here. What a magnificent run. And he's still going. Wonderful from Agat. And Niemi just managed to push it away from the incoming Sutton.
That's breathtaking wide play from Didier Agat. Absolutely priceless, this. Look at the player's goal side of him here. And he decides he's got the pace to go all the way, gets himself to the byline. You see Henrik Larsson drops off here for the cutback. Final ball perhaps let him down slightly, but a terrific penetrating run.
Agat's lob, and Antti Niemi had to push that one over. It was awkward for the Finnish international keeper. Agat on the rampage.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any chances here, Niemi. I don't think this is ever going to beat him. He's quite right playing safe there.
First corner of the game. It's Thompson who whips it in, away by Gordon Jury. Boyd, an early replacement for the injured Valharan. McNamara, and that will drift through to Niemi. Martin O'Neill's Celtic taking an early lead. John Robertson alongside him on the touchline. Vega's header. McNamara now looking to put Lennon away, but across slid Stephen Presley. This is Thompson, leaves it for Lennon. Lambert. He gets it back, but neither here nor there from Paul Lambert that time. Craig Levine, previously in charge of Cowdenbeath, but he's arrived in the big time after Jim Jeffries left the club. Here's Kirk. Mialbi shadowing him. Vogel comes across to Severin. Now Kieran McAnespie on loan from Fulham, but well known in Scotland from his time at St Johnstone. Colin Cameron drilled it in. It was actually stopped by his own man. McAnespie has given away a free kick for a foul on Didier Agat.
Yeah, I don't think Agat realised that the ball was lying behind him there, but McAnespie, no intention of playing the ball there.
Ramon Vega's free kick towards Sutton, another free kick now. A game littered with free kicks. It's Petric and Sutton, those two again.
I just don't believe Hearts are giving away so many cheap free kicks in dangerous areas. They've already been punished once, and this is certainly in range here for Celtic to get a shot on goal. The likes of Alan Thompson has the power to put Niemi under pressure here.
Free kick in a highly promising position for Celtic. It's going to be Larson or Thompson. Henrik Larsson fancies it, but it's straight against the wall. Not quite up to the usual standards of the Swede. Agat. Another free kick. No, the referee's played the advantage. It would have been, though. Now Thompson. And Ramon Vega is still up there. More concern for Hearts, but the nod down from Vega not particularly good.
Well, it wasn't picked up, Louine. Just drifted around the back there, found a good bit of room.
Agat. Mialbi. Grant Murray sticking so close, of course, to Larson. Lennon. Mialbi. And Larson has put Agat away. Stephen Pressley cut out the cross. Jury. That's drifted away from Andy Kirk. It'll be retrieved by Boyd. Paul Lambert. Boyd. Thompson. Another free kick going in Celtic's favour for a foul from Chris Sutton. Thompson and Lennon stand over the free kick. Celtic leading through Henrik Larsson's early header, but they've lost Jos Valharen injured. Lennon floats it in, and Vega's in there! Good reflexes from Antti Niemi to foil Ramon Vega.
That's a good save, but Gordon Petric again caught on the wrong side there of Vega.
Well, Hearts are going to get a corner now.
Well, Vega we know is good in the air, but Gordon Petric has to be in the right side here. He ends up on the wrong side of Vega. And but for a terrific reflex save there by Niemi, Hearts would have been 2 down.
Petrovich now moves up the other end. Cameron's corner. Might come to Petrovich, in fact. Dug out by Sutton. Thompson stepping in, and there could be a bit of a break on, although having said that, Hearts have got a lot of bodies back. But yet another free kick, Cameron's foul on Larsson.
Yeah, meeting the sandwich there, Henrik Larsson. Colin Cameron, to be fair, doing the shift, working back the way.
Bit like an old firm game this for a referee. So many challenges flying in. Lennon takes it. It eludes Didier Agathe and Kieran McAnespie, really, although it's evidently come off McAnespie. Mialbi with the long throw. Ramon Vega, such a threat. Lambert! And it's wide, and Niemi watched it go wide from Paul Lambert.
Yeah, I think Niemi felt he had this, had it been inside the post, he could have got across there. Decent effort though by Paul Lambert.
Now let's get some news about that injury to Jos Valharen from our man on the touchline, David Tanner.
Well, it's early yet, Ian, but at this stage, Celtic fear the worst. He was in a lot of pain when he was taken up the tunnel. There's a lot of swelling at the moment on the Belgian's ankle, but there is a suspicion among medics that there could be a fractured ankle. So it's only a suspicion at the moment. X-rays will confirm the news later, but it could be that Jos Valharen has a fractured ankle.
Well, that will be a severe blow if it turns out to be the case for Martin O'Neill. In this astonishing season. This time Hearts get a free kick, which I don't think they quite expected, but they've got it anyway. Cameron whips it in. And it comes back to Severin, who sent it flying over, but nobody had picked up Tomaszek, who got the initial contact.
Yeah, I think he had more time than he realised here, and it drops nicely for him at the back post. Wasn't really picked up there.
But Tomaszek, the Slovakian international. Scottish Premier League, of course, just back from its winter break. Celtic went to Florida, Hearts went to Portugal. I don't think the conditions in Edinburgh tonight will remind either side of those particular trips. Severin's header. Cameron was into the box, of course, but Robert Douglas has it.
No, he doesn't get there, but Hearts will want more of that. Colin Cameron again timed his run perfectly. They had good ball in behind there by Gordon Jury as well. Celtic in certainly the territorial bit between their teeth here. I think it did take Hearts 5 minutes or so to recover from losing the early one here.
Presley. McAnespie. Hearts are lying fifth in the table, but they're 27 points behind Celtic and 19 points off third place. Presley left that, and Lambert is able to find Sutton. Henrik Larsson's going to go for it. He's gone past Niemi, but he's lifted it over Sutton, but hang on, because it's going to come to Thompson. And he could be in here. And in the end, the presence of Tomaszek proved enough for Hearts. McNamara. Sutton grappling with Petric once again. Severin. Flogel. Severin forced to go back. Presley. Kirk's header, but he gave it straight to Lambert, who leaves it for Lennon. Now McNamara with Didier Agat, an option. Lambert. Poked away from Larson by Murray, of course, and an obstruction from Larson. Here's McInnesby. Agat has pushed it past Jury, but Stephen Presley shunts it to Petric. Tom Boyd able to feed Henrik Larsson. Now Lennon. Thompson. It's gone against Chris Sutton this time.
Yeah, a right smile there from Chris Sutton. We're going to see a few of them. Has to be careful, of course, yellow carded, but this was a terrific example of the movement of Henrik Larsson here. A run across the face. Grant Murray struggling to keep in touch with him, and the cross is a fraction too deep for Chris Sutton, who peeled off to the back post. But as at the goal, you see Grant Murray struggling there to handle the movement of this man.
And Niemi has rather wasted the kick by sending it straight into touch. Just the one goal in it. An early header from Henrik Larsson. Cameron making one of his runs, but Agat can not only bring it away, he's also fed Jackie McNamara. Agat looks like he will get to that. He does. And his cross towards Sutton. There's another late challenge.
Yeah, Gordon Jury's in bother. Tom Boyd, just as he played it away there, is caught late. You have to say Celtic have won just about every loose ball so far tonight. They really have been up for this. Long way to go, of course, and a lot of work left in this match, but they've certainly started at the right tempo, the right pace.
So the 35-year-old booked for a challenge on the 36-year-old. They must be thinking we're getting too old for this. Now Martin O'Neill being spoken to by Kenny Clark. I suppose Martin was getting a bit agitated. Surely not. He's just a bit passionate. You might have noticed. Boyd will come back on soon. That's come off Agat. It'll be a Hearts throw. Celtic won 4-2 here in the league at the start of the season, 5-2 here in the League Cup, and they also beat Hearts 6-1 at Celtic Park. So they've been increasing in order the number of goals, 4, 5, 6, but surely the next in the sequence won't happen tonight. Just the one so far for Celtic, scored by that man Henrik Larsson, who has had Grant Murray sticking to him for most of the evening, but certainly not when he scored. proceedings with Cameron trying to sneak in amongst those Celtic defenders. Tomaszek. He's not done too badly. And Andy Kirk! Well, he fired it just wide, but what a chance for Hearts.
Terrific contribution from Tomaszek, you have to say. The driving run here in between two Celtic defenders. A good pullback. Kirk can't quite find the right angle.
He's just signed a 4-year deal, Andy Kirk. Very promising player, 21-year-old, already a full Northern Ireland international. A couple of years ago, he was working in an aircraft factory playing for Glentoran. Thompson and Flugel in direct confrontation. There's an Old Firm double-header this week when the teams meet in the League Cup, but stronger sides likely to be on show next weekend when Celtic meet Rangers at Celtic Park. But the bad news for Celtic today is that Jens van Haren has gone off with what looks like a very bad ankle injury. There's FA Cup replay action this week for you. Kingstonian are at it again against Bristol City. Can Jeff Chappell pull off another giant killing? Find out Wednesday at 7 on Sky Sports 2. McInnesby's throw. Kirk. Lennon actually slid in.
Oh, did well. Yeah, Celtic well ahead in possession as well, Ian. You get an impression of Hearts is starting to grow in confidence. The run from Tomaszek there will have lifted them a bit, and I think they will have to try and start asking a few more questions of Celtic at the back.
Larson. Stopped by Murray. Still the snow chucking it down at Tynecastle. Lennon. McNamara. Everybody's so hungry to get to the ball. Cameron, though, with a chance to bring it away. Larson tracked him back. Here's Severin, though. And now Cameron. It's not over yet, as Flugel finds Kirk. But a wild centre from Andy Kirk results in a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a poor final ball, and he had support at the back post, had the delivery been better in, but Hearts starting to look as if they're up for it a bit now. Stunned clearly by the early loss of the goal, but starting to find their way a bit now.
Martin O'Neill with just one defeat on the domestic scene this season. Needless to say who that was against. Petric penalised again for a foul on guess who?
Oh, it's clever that Sutton, because he doesn't get off the ground here. If Petric is going to attack it, it has to go over the top of him.
Lennon up towards Sutton. Handball. Not much doubt about it.
Well, he's very good at this. He's very good at backing in. You see Stephen Presley there, he can't get anywhere near this. And it makes it so tough for defenders.
Quite a few fouls in the first half. Sutton. McNamara probably asking too much of Larson. Agat brushed out of the way by Colin Cameron. That's what Hearts need to show Here's Kirk, but Neil Lennon, well, that sums up what Lennon is all about. Sutton has, well, the referee waved play on as he bumbled into Presley. There's a cracking contest going on involving Sutton, but here's Alan Thompson. Sutton is waiting in the middle. And it's a corner.
Again, a better final ball, and Chris Sutton was in at the back post there. It was Grant Murray who was left picking him up. Better ball from Alan Thompson would have served Celtic better there.
The snow, I have to say, appears to be getting heavier and heavier. Alan Thompson's corner, Sutton in the thick of it. Kept in by Neil Lennon, who was given time to float another one into the 6-yard box. Now Cameron. Trust Lennon to be back there, halting Cameron's progress at the other end. 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Thompson, nobody over there, and that's where he might have been. Here's Severin. Ramon Vega will cover. Robert Douglas on hand. McInnesby. Wasted really by Grant Murray.
I think Hart's marking has to be better at set pieces here. In the last corner we see here, and it comes to nothing, but look at Vega at the front post, unmarked as he runs off Andy Kirk. And Hearts really can't afford to give the Celtic, the big lads who are coming up for set pieces, that amount of room.
Tetridge's header. Severin. Presley will steer it back to Antiniemi. Jury won the header, that was big foul.
Yeah, he's never winning that, Ramon Vega. And the hand was up and acknowledgement right away.
Is it snowing by any chance? Gordon Petric will take this free kick. It was Presley on the end of it. And Kirk is in there. But he couldn't quite steer it towards goal, the youngster. It was always going to be awkward for him, mind you.
Yeah, Stephen Presley did well, though, and Hearts haven't won their share of these balls so far. It's a good ball back across the goal. And it just, unfortunately for Andy Kirk, falls behind him. And after that, he's struggling.
Celtic ominously have scored 22 goals in their last 5 matches before this one. Over 4 a game on average. Not bad going for Martin's men. But only that early Henrik Larsson header to show for their efforts at Tynecastle, where Hearts usually try their very best to give it a go against the old firm. Didier Agat. McNamara. Larsson, and McNamara's gone for the return. And Sutton stretching but not able to get there.
That's a terrific exchange by Jackie McNamara. Gets away from Colin Cameron here on the edge of the box. Good 1-2. You see Colin Cameron switching off here. McNamara's in behind him. It wasn't a bad ball at all. Took a slight deflection. Otherwise, Chris Sutton might have been in the end of it.
Sutton awaits the corner. It's Alan Thompson who takes it. Ramon Vega was closely watched that time. Didn't get anywhere near it. Celtic seeking their 8th successive victory. Sutton. Lambert. It's come off Larson, so it'll be a Hearts throw. Hearts are in action again here in midweek when they play Berwick Rangers in a Scottish Cup third round replay for the right to meet Dundee or Falkirk in the next round. Tomaszek. Flugel, don't quite get to that. Thomas Flugel, when he played against Celtic in the League Cup game here early in the season, had to go off early after a clash of heads. He then came on as a sub in the 6-1 defeat at Celtic, and then played against him in an under-21 game and damaged his knee ligament, so he's done quite well to last so far. Craig Levine's Hearts going in search of an equaliser. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. Cameron's free kick, and it ends up safely in the arms of Robert Douglas as a number of heads went up. Mialby's throw. Didier Agat. Across to Boyd. Thompson. Larson left it for Sutton. And now Thompson. Celtic in a menacing mood, and McNamara. But it's collected by Antiniemi, but Hearts were in danger of falling apart then.
Yeah, torn apart here, Ian. Terrific construction again by Celtic, good movement. But they might regret passing up these chances.
McNamara scored a cracking goal a week ago in the Scottish Cup at Stranraer.
Looks a different player, one in now. He didn't look comfortable at all playing out in the line. You have to say the whole midfield balance looks right for Celtic tonight. We wondered about Lennon and Lambert, but there's been a good balance about them. Lennon's more or less played as an old-fashioned inside left tonight.
And no Bobby Petter or Stilian Petrov in that midfield, both suspended. Petrov will also miss the Old Firm game next weekend. Johan Mialby's foul on Gordon Jury.
Yeah, he's so committed here. He has to take the ball, otherwise he's certainly going to give away a free kick on Jury there. I don't know what he's complaining about.
He's been in trouble with a groin problem lately, which has required injections. Petrich's free kick. Referee spotted an infringement by Stephen Pressley.
Well, that's the value of Chris Sutton in his own box as well. He played centre-half, of course, early in his career. A very handy man to have at your back post.
2 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. Neil Lennon. Larson. Crowded out somewhat. Poor clearance though, after 2 minutes of added on time. A gap will settle for the throw off McAnespie. Bobby's throw. Full-time McInnesby initially. Nice touch there from Gordon Jury. Very nice. Tomaszek. Kirk. Cameron racing through the middle, of course. Here's Gordon Jury looking for Cameron. And Celtic sorted out in the end, albeit conceding a corner, but there was a vital interception from Boyd initially before Thompson put it behind.
Yeah, he did well because Celtic were chasing it there. Good movement by Hearts, good free passing here. And Tom Boyd eventually did just enough at the back post as Gordon Jury whipped it in there.
It's a corner kick to Hearts in the swirling snow at Tynecastle. Cameron sends it in. Away by McNamara. He's there again. Flugel needed to hang on to that. McInnes still forward. That might drift behind though. It does. It's a wild night in the city of Edinburgh. Just your average day in Scotland, really.
Tell you what, if it starts lying, we've got a problem.
Away by Boyd. Now maybe there could be in here. And another free kick now going in Celtic's favour. Been a busy old half for Kenny Clark.
I think the whistle's probably coming at the wrong time for Heartsy, who confidence is clearly growing here now.
Tom Boyd's free kick. Larson floored. Another free kick.
They've got to make sure they defend this properly, Hearts. Cannot afford to lose one at this stage.
It's Lennon who whips it in. Ramon Vega was the nearest Celtic man. Won't be much of a break now, mind you. Severin, Tomaszek. And Andy Kirk is in. Lost his way a little bit, but Flugel will retrieve it. And it's a Hearts corner now in first half injury time. Seconds of the half remaining. Craig Levein will be hoping they have time to get it in there. Cameron's corner. Robert Douglas came a long way, and Severin! And there were so many Celtic bodies in the way, it was steered away from goal.
Yeah, it's fortunate Robert Douglas makes up his mind early, fully committed. And he's lucky that he gets away with it, so many bodies goal side there.
Might have been Boyd who managed to take it away from its intended target. The whistle has gone for half-time, a lively end to the half, but Henrik Larsson's goal separates the sides. It came early on. Larsson putting Celtic in front, but Hearts have done enough to suggest that they have plenty to offer, and it's going to be some second half at Tynecastle. Celtic 1 up at the break.
It's non-league Kinstonian against Bristol City. Can Jeff Chappell do it again? Find out from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. Meantime, at Tynecastle, Celtic are in the driving seat and they're a goal to the good on a snowy night in Edinburgh. Henrik Larsson got the goal. 2 bookings in that first half. Gordon Jury and Chris Sutton, both of their names taken by Kenny Clark. And Celtic have had a really good first half tonight. They came out of the blocks quickest, but Hearts are coming more and more into this game now, so it's perfectly set up for what should be a cracking second half. Charlie, whatever Martin O'Neill said before the game, he certainly had Celtic fired up, didn't he?
I don't think he had a great deal to do. I think when Rangers won yesterday at lunchtime, I think what it confirmed to the players was that we have to be ready for this away match more than ever now, because we will just make it more awkward for ourselves. with the double-header Old Firm game coming up this week, you know, the last thing they need is to put added pressure on them. I know they're going to be at home, but at the same time, what a start. It's a great cross. There's wonderful pace on it from Alan Thompson. I've seen it so often, but it's a gambled run from Henrik Larsson, and his timing is absolutely bang on. Nothing Grant Murray can do. He is the wrong side, of course, but the strikers must take the gamble, and it's a brilliant header. And I think to be fair, Celtic have bossed this game for half an hour.
But that's bad news.
That is the blow the Celtic don't want. I think if you take Larsson out the team, the one that you would look more solidly at next is Valharan. I think what the problem was when he goes up in the air, it's definitely a twist. Nothing Jury can do. I think he landed in Jury's boots, and it just threw the weight of his left ankle just over, which would give him a problem. But what a run this was from McGath. I said before kick-off, this would be the interesting head-to-head with him and McInnesby. I have to say, McInnesby's done pretty well. He's been pretty steady. But McGath on full flow, he's got such tremendous pace. It really causes so many problems. And he's a wonderful outball for Celtic. But I don't think they've given him enough of it. I think he probably merits a little bit more service. But Gordon Petrick, Davey mentioned him. There is times, we've seen him do this at Rangers in the past, there is times he just completely switches off. He doesn't look interested. And as a defender, it's a crime. Yeah. He's the wrong side. He doesn't look interested. Vegas just basically pushed him out the road and dominated him. And Niemi again, you know, against Celtic, had to pull off a wonder save. This is a great chance. Best chance in the first half. This is better than Henrik's chance. Andy Kirk should have done much better. Tomacek does well. Penetrate and run, good cut back, and you must hit the target from there. Wonderful move there from Celtic. Petric again, watch his pass back. Don't know what he's thinking of, but Jackie McNamara had far more time, could have used it better. And I think if Celtic would have scored the second goal in that half, and probably this move merited something, the game would have been over for Hearts. But fair play to Craig Levein and his team. The last 15 minutes or so, they've started to grow in confidence. This tells you something. Their passing, their movement. It's a very good cross. Tommy Boyd does very well to knock it away, and Celtic get out of trouble. But I would say Hearts have certainly finished the first half the more positive side, although Celtic are one up. And I would put more pressure on Robert Douglas with cross balls if I was Craig Levein's side. OK,
Charlie, well, at Tynecastle, it wasn't just the mini blizzard which hit Hearts for 6. Celtic caught them cold in that first half in the person of Larsson. The second half coming up on a cold night after this. That's at 1 o'clock. For more information on this special box office event, the number to call is 08705 800 888. That's 08705 800 888. And you'll see Celtic against Rangers. Celtic, of course, in action tonight at Tynecastle, where, Charlie, they are a goal to the good. And it is a very good first-half performance by Celtic. We're agreed on that.
Yeah, I think for half an hour they were solid. They were dominating the game. I think the midfield, as Davey Provan quite rightly pointed out, Lennon, McNamara and Lambert have all been, you know, beautifully balanced, all looking to run off the ball and good passing and movement. I think Martin would be delighted with the first 45. But I do think there is a slight problem for Celtic in terms of Valharan, who's now off injured, of course. And I think Hearts have got the more inspiration from that. I think Celtic just have to be that little bit careful at the back. Lennon and Lambert, I think, can afford to sit deeper and be a little bit more cautious. But Hearts did finish the first half quite well, and I think at 1-0 they're still in with a great chance.
OK, Charlie, and Jos Valharan, we hear, will be heading to hospital once this game is concluded at Tynecastle tonight. He's enjoying it, he's frozen, but his team are in front, 1-0. The second half now, let's rejoin David Provan and Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Jim. Henrik Larsson on target again for Celtic, who a year ago tomorrow were 2-0 up against Hearts at home, but the Jambos came back to win 3-2. And 3 days later, Inverness Cally Thistle came along and knocked Celtic out of the Scottish Cup. What a difference a year makes. Hearts ready to start the second half. It has been an engrossing encounter. It usually is when these two teams collide. Petric with the up and under. Stephen Presley. Little touch from Tomaszek, and he promptly got it back from Jury. Severin, Tomaszek, played by Thompson. Mialbi called upon. Well, here's Severin. Lennon. Lambert caught it by Severin. Tomaszek then hit it straight at Boyd. Hearts, though, camped inside the Celtic half at the start of the second half. Thomas Vogel. His throw-in doesn't clear Lennon, who gets it back. Thompson clears. Gillespie shook off Agat, although he's coming back for more. And what a wonderful challenge. Didier Agat wanted Hibbs, looking to put one over Hearts, which wouldn't go down too well here. Nothing coming from the cross, but it is going to be picked up by Alan Thompson. Now Lennon. Thompson looking for Larsson, and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, he strikes such a good ball, Alan Thompson. Grant Murray at full stretch there, just drills this into the back post area. And Grant Murray on his toes there manages to get it away. This is where Celtic are a more dangerous side this season, even from set pieces. They're a far better delivery most of the time into the penalty area.
Well, this delivery will come from Alan Thompson. Larsson was there again, and steered back across by Lennon. Hearts survive. Flogel's throw. Tomaszek put his foot in. But Lambert ensuring that the throw went Celtic's way. It'll be taken for them by Tom Boyd, who started the game on the bench but didn't stay there for very long after that nasty ankle injury for Valharen. It's a telling month in Scotland, a month that will decide destinies. The Old Firm meeting twice in League and Cup, and of course the next round of the Scottish Cup as well.
Yeah, I think Martin O'Neill feels that Jackie McNamara was unfairly penalised. They're just pressing Colin Cameron out the touchline here, and he might have a case there.
The next fortnight is certainly going to sort a few things out, as far as title chances are concerned, League Cup hopes are concerned, and Scottish Cup hopes are concerned. Presley. Lambert. Murray. Boyd. Away to Thompson. Murray gave it straight to Lennon, much to the dismay of the home fans. Lennon. Lambert. Ramon Vega, who's discarded his gloves for the second half. Lambert. Flogel won it back off Thompson, now Murray. McInnesby. Petric. Severin. Managed to smuggle it back to Petric. This is better from Hearts now. Tomaszek turn, but no way past Boyd, and Celtic on their way. Thompson.
Just a little bit slack. Celtic just getting a little bit slack at the moment, Ian. Really inviting the pressure on themselves by giving the ball away a bit too cheaply.
Didier Agat. That's one way to lose your man. Larsson let it go. And Petric once again with a terrible mistake. And now Alan Thompson. It comes back to Neil Lennon. The gap. McNamara, Sutton, and McNamara going for the return. Lennon is there too. Mialby. Hearts can't get near the ball at the moment. Boyd. Ramon Vega. Up to Chris Sutton. Larson and McNamara looking to combine, but that will spin away for a goal kick.
I think Celtic will just be glad to get on the ball area, and the Hearts have had most of the possession in the beginning of this second half. But Gordon Petric can't afford to be as slack as this. On the edge of his own box here, I mean, you're told in the school playground not to do this. And what he's thinking about trying to take people on the edge of his own area, I really don't know.
The best of nights so far for Petric. Cameron. Niemi aiming it towards Flogel. But the presence of Thompson was enough to ensure that it was going to clear everyone. Severin. Presley. Severin. Might open up the Hearts a bit now. Cameron. McInnesby. Still going. But then McNamara nipped in. Presley. McInnesby. Andy Kirk. Jury nearby. McInnesby. Neil Lennon, but cross came Tomaszek.
I don't think they got a shout there.
Stephen Presley turns into a right winger. And the cross comes Ramon Vega.
Well, you see it, Hearts having the better of it in the second half here, and I think Craig Levein will be pretty pleased with what he's looking at the moment. And as I said earlier, still a lot of work left for Celtic in this one.
Kirk came to meet Flogel's throw. He'll get the chance to take another throw. This time it goes to Tomaszek, and it bounces off him. It goes behind for a goal kick. Just 2 defeats in his 8 games in charge. Craig Levein. It's come off Colin Cameron, so it'll be a Celtic throw. Cameron hobbling a little, but nothing serious. Another Celtic throw. The gap. Sutton over that, and he's put it away. Henrik Larsson doesn't get near the cross, and that'll be a free kick for a foul by Thompson.
Yeah, just the final ball lets Didier gap down from time to time here. It's the kind of ball that requires a run from midfield, a supporting run here, someone running onto that because it's behind Henrik Larsson.
Celtic legend Paul McStay amongst the crowd at Tynecastle will be relishing the Old Firm week ahead. Thompson. Vogel. Severin. Now Presley. Grant Murray. Andy Kirk might get to this, although Ramon Vega was heading towards it too, and in the end, Riven got there, and it's a goal kick. Martin O'Neill won't entertain any talk of a treble this season, because nothing has been won yet, as he will frequently tell you. And Rangers, remember, could also win the treble yet. Celtic 6 points clear going into this one. Hearts are going to bring on Stephen Boyack shortly. Offside against Gordon Jury. Stephen Boyack disappeared out of sight, really, after Ivano Benetti arrived at Dundee. He wasn't allowed to make much of an impact there, and this has turned out to be quite a good move for him. He's going to come on for Scott Severin.
Yeah, he's a clever player, Boyack, and I think if the pace of the game, as it is starting to do now, starting to drop slightly, if the pace drops and the game starts to stretch a bit and there's a bit more room in there, then Stephen Boyack could be a very, very potent player for Hearts tonight. Very clever footballer.
Alan Thompson. It's going to be picked up by Neil Lennon. That was better from Petric. Firm challenge. Sutton felt the force of it. Andy Kirk. Tom Boyd ensuring there was no way past. Ramon Vega for a moment. Looked like he might be in a bit of bother. Tomaszek. Boyd to Mialbi. It's getting a bit boggy out there. McNamara. Didier Agat. Lennon. There's a bit of a hospital pass to Lambert. Allowing Tomaszek to step in. Now Gordon Jury. Kamara could be away here. And Chris Sutton takes it in his stride. And a magnificent block from Murray.
Oh, you better believe it, Ian. Good ball in by McNamara. Terrific first touch there by Chris Sutton to nurse it. And he must have thought he was going to get a shot on target there. Terrific block there by Murray at full stretch.
Martin O'Neill might have expected Sutton to put Celtic 2 up them, but it didn't happen. Oh, no one's picked up a gap here. He's taking his time, and he's right-footed over.
I should be doing better from there, Ian, because as you suggested, plenty of time there, not picked up. Just steps away from Andy Kirk on the edge of the box and doesn't really get over it at all.
Kirk chasing, but away by Boyd. Well, everybody seemed to leave that. Henrik Larsson says, OK then, I'll have it. Gillespie ensuring that Agat couldn't get away just yet. He'll leave the throw for McNamara. Larsson making himself available, and he's poked it through to Agat. And Thompson trying to get on the end of the cross. Kirk happy to let it run. Lambert read the throw. Presley. And Vega just snapping it into touch. The former Tottenham man. Vogel's throw. Will drop harmlessly behind for a goal kick, and Hearts will be hoping that they can find a way past this Celtic defence, although they have kept 4 successive clean sheets in the league. Stranraer did manage to score against them last week in the Scottish Cup. And the last person to score against Robert Douglas in the league was his own teammate, Tom Boyd, at Dundee, an OG. See some movement there on the Hearts bench, and it looks like the little Spaniard Juanjo is about to make an appearance. Neil Lennon. Ramon Vega up towards Larsson. Free kick. Murray clambering over the Swede. Hearts are going to make a change before this free kick is taken. On comes Juanjo, and Kieran McInnesby is going to make way for him. And if anyone can liven things up and provide a little spark, perhaps, Juanjo can. Played under Bobby Robson at Barcelona. Neil Lennon. It was away by Presley, snapped back by Paul Lambert, and now McNamara has a go.
Paul Lambert hits this so sweetly here. Stephen Presley does well on the back foot to win it. What a good first-time effort by Paul Lambert. Jack McNamara doesn't strike his effort quite as well.
Couple of digs from distance. Celtic just ahead as far as attempts at goal are concerned. Here's Alan Thompson. Oh, Petric. Sutton and Petric do battle again. Neil Lennon trying to make an impression. Sutton. And just went away from Larsson. The Hearts fans felt that Petric was fouled then. A gap. Cameron's going to latch onto that though. And Andy Kirk's route is blocked by a considerable frame of Mjällby. Boyack. Here's Juanjo. Juanjo can't keep it in, or can he? No, he can't. Goal kick.
Yeah, he's going to play right side, Juanjo, and Thomas Flugel has now moved to left wing back. I think that might be to give Hearts a better defensive option against Didier Agat.
Craig Levine played here for a long time. Has always followed the fortunes of Hearts, who have been on the receiving end of a few batterings from Celtic this season. It's a lot tighter this time, though. Although I have to say, in a couple of those games, the scorelines were a little flattering to Celtic. Presley. Juanjo. Juanjo was tugging Alan Thompson's shirt, was he? No, it's the other way around, in fact.
Now they've got to put Celtic under pressure here. They have to get a decent ball into the box. Once again, it's in an area that Celtic really have to defend this. Pretty deep across their penalty spot.
Well, Stephen Boyack can certainly deliver. Lennon steered it away. Celtic weren't terribly troubled in the end, and not only that, Lambert's trying to get away, but Wanjo stops him in his tracks. And a foul by Didier Agat gives Hearts a free kick.
Not much doubt about that. Hearts certainly now forcing Celtic onto the back foot. Celtic defending deeper and deeper. They'll just want the breakthrough, Craig. If all the pressure goes for nothing if they don't get the payoff.
Colin Cameron whips it in. Oh, and it was very, very nearly an own goal. I think it came off Boyd.
That's a good ball in by Colin Cameron. Difficult one to defend. And that's a foot at best, just past the far post there.
Well, Tom Boyd was the last man to score in the league against Robert Douglas. That's taken by Douglas. Wanjo. And it's far from over this. Hearts giving it their all. Thompson. He skipped away from Tomaszek. Thompson centre, and look who's in there! That is brilliant! And Celtic clinically claim their second goal, and it's a double for Henrik Larsson.
Came out of nothing. It's the same combination as well. Alan Thompson did so well. Little change of pace on the halfway line to take him clear on the left-hand side. Has a look up and a look at Larsson coming blindside over Grant Murray here. Half a yard is all he needs, and that is a magnificent finish with the outside of his right foot. Just gets across the front of Grant Murray, timing the run to perfection once again. And Niemi left absolutely stranded. A wonderful goal.
Henrik Larsson's 34th goal of the season. And Niemi's clearance was stopped by Sutton. Niemi claiming with his hand, but I suppose he would. Well, he so often makes the difference.
It's just such a special finish, Ian, because if anything is too far towards the front post there, and he just adjusts the angle of the ball ever so slightly. Special goal from a very special talent.
Well, that's taken the sting out of Hearts. He's only scored 11 goals in his last 5 games. Needs to improve a bit, really. It won't be too much of a surprise to Hearts that he's been amongst the goals again here, as they get a free kick. Ramon Vega over the top of Gordon Juric. Larsson has now scored 10 goals in 12 games against Hearts. Where taking the free kick a little too early. Cameron. Wanjo. It's the sort of night where Celtic might have been expected to slip up, but once again they have produced a highly professional performance. They did so at Stranraer in the Cup a week ago. And when you come to time capsule, you always know you're in for testing time, but Henrik Larsson with 2 goals has put Celtic in the comfort zone a little bit.
I'd be the first to thank Alan Thompson, though, Ian. 2 terrific assists from Thompson.
Thompson relishing life at Celtic after his move from Aston Villa. Boyat. Presley. Celtic aiming to go 9 points clear at the top again after Rangers closed the gap yesterday. But the Giants of Glasgow are on collision course. They meet in the Scottish Premier League next weekend. Petric. Boyack. Petric, he is hanging in there. Wanjo's touch allowed Boyd to move in. Now Sutton. Thompson. Sutton. Lennon. Thompson for Chris Sutton, but I showed too much of that to Petric. Still be interested in this though, because neither of them are going to give up here or give an inch. Celtic for too long played second fiddle to Rangers, but the times are changing, it seems. Still a long way to go though, and they won't write Rangers off until it's mathematically possible for them to do so. Wanjo, but Ramon Vega steered that across. It was meant for Mialbi, but McNamara was on hand too. Cameron beat McNamara to it. The flag is up though. Hearts frustrated.
Yeah, I think at one stage here Gordon Jr. was trying to get back onside there. See him, he's in a passive position, then he decides to take part. That's when the flag is up.
Larson let that one go. Mialbi. That's going to be a free kick. Petric on Sutton, and Gordon Petric is going to get a yellow card.
No, it's a bit of a certainty, wasn't it, that the contest has been so physical between that pair. I'd been surprised if Gordon Petric had gone 90 minutes without a yellow.
They've both got one now. Ramon Vega with the free kick. Larson. Did he get a gap? Lennon. Away by Stephen Presley. Stephen Boyack. Tomaszek. Sutton decided he was going to have it back. Thompson. Clearly taken out by Wanjo, and that's going to be another yellow card.
Yeah, that's clear enough. Alan Thompson's had a super game out on the left side for Celtic tonight. Happier playing one in from the touchline. And it takes a bit of discipline to play out there, because there are periods in the game where you're just not taking part, but he's given Celtic a good out ball down the left-hand side, and the two deliveries for Larson have been priceless.
Lambert. Here is Thompson. Ramon Vega. Presley managed to knock it away. Cameron. Neil Lennon came charging in. Free kick given in favour of Lambert. Stephen Boyack didn't too over-enthusiastic.
He's quite willing to put the foot in here, Stephen Boyack. I think it's a late one there on Lennon. Well, follow through again on Paul Lambert.
Stephen Boyack wants some Rangers. Ramon Vega's free kick. Petric got in front of Sutton that time. Tomaszek, Boyack, Cameron. Taken off his toes though. Didier Agat. McNamara moving ahead of him. Larsson has peeled out wide. There he is. Sutton waiting for the cross, but it's a firm catch from Antinieri. There's a man on Boyack. Spindled him off. Presley. Quanjo. He's got past Alan Thompson. Tomaszek to Boyack. Flogel's cross. Jury on the end of it. Tomaszek. Here's a gap. Neil Lennon. A gap. Skipping over Flogel. Well, didn't do too badly there, did he?
Yeah, he did well. Took a solo, and I think just as he played it inside.
Thompson. Presley. Petric. Ramon Vega will watch that one drift away for a goal kick.
Well, you have to say the second goal, and we always talk about the quality of the final ball here. And it doesn't get much better than this. He knows that Henrik Larsson's going to come across the blind side of Grant Murray, and he plays it into the perfect area at the front post for him to run onto. Perfect timing, and the precision on the ball is absolutely outstanding. Larsson just changes the direction, the angle of the ball ever so slightly, and there's enough pace on it already just to run inside that far post. A wonderful effort.
The talents of Henrik Larsson on show, with assistance from Alan Thompson. Those two combining for both goals. And whilst we were watching those goals, that goal, Gary McSwiggan has come on for Gordon Jury. Ramon Vega ready to take this Celtic free kick. Up towards Sutton it goes, away by Petric. Andy Kirk. Tom Boyd hanging in there though. Mistake from Mialvi, gave it to Tomaszek. Now Boyack. There's nobody over there yet, although Flogel might get to it. He does. The gap slid in a little too early. Boyack's header. Cameron. Nothing doing.
Yeah, it just wouldn't drop for him. You look at the Celtic players pressing the ball here as it breaks to Colin Cameron. And they really have pressed the ball ever so well this evening. As it sits up here for Cameron, look at the Celtic jerseys trying to get to it.
Well, there's FA Cup replay action coming up on Wednesday at 7 on Sky Sports 2. Can Jeff Chappell and his Kingstonian team see off Bristol City? Now, Douglas is going to get to that, just. Swiggin's centre.
Dead level in terms of possession, but that'll be no consolation to Craig Levein. And Hearts were having a good spell when they were caught.
Jackie McNamara is fouling Presley. Boyack. Tomaszek. Here's Cameron, and he's put Flogel in. Oops. The Austrian seemed to lose sight of it, though. And it was always going to be a difficult task for Craig Levein, because Celtic have been generally unstoppable this season in the Scottish Premier League, apart, of course, from one game when they were turned over by Rangers. The old firm meet again next weekend in the league. They also meet, in fact, the midweek in League Cup semi-final, but remains to be seen whether full-strength sides will be on show for that one. Both might consider the Scottish Premier League Championship a little more important. Quanjo just held off Thompson. Boyack. Kirk. Oh, that's going to stop him. He was under pressure from Ramon Vega. Thompson's flick. Larson looking to get away. He's got Didier Agat away to his right-hand side. He might well bring him into it. He does. Agat's cross. Larson for a hat-trick. He's done it. 3-0. A hat-trick for Henrik.
Tell you what, he adjusts his position here about 3 times when Agat looks up. Watch Larson's movement here. He goes front post first of all, checks out, then drops off. Niemi just caught on his heels there. And once again, you have to take your hat off to Henrik Larsson, who won the ball in the first place before feeding Agat wide. Who's on the end of it when the ball comes in? What a night he's had.
Not for the first time in his career in Scotland. Larsson has hit a hat-trick against Hearts. 35 goals this season. Well, Petrich on Sutton was a surprise. Celtic can afford to bring on one of their youngsters now. 20-year-old Jamie Smith is going to come on for Henrik Larsson. The Celtic fans applauding Larsson's supreme efforts. If that was going to be a double substitution, I think. But Jamie Smith is definitely on. And Alan Thompson's going to have to trudge all the way across the field, because he's going to make way for the arrival of Lubomir Moravcik, who's actually scored in every game against Hearts this season. So I'm sure they're really pleased to see him coming on.
Well, it certainly makes sense to get Larsson off the pitch here, and they should wrap him in cotton wool until next Sunday.
Sutton doing battle with Petrich again. Lennon. Agat. McNamara. Well, it's all over now for Hearts. They gave it a go and had a very good spell just before Larsson scored his second. But Celtic afforded the luxury of taking off the man who has hit a hat-trick, Larsson, and the man who assisted him for 2 of those goals, Thompson. Smith to Lennon. Lambert, he'll be glad to get 90 minutes under his belt after so long out. Stephen Boyack. The gap at the top of the Scottish Premier League will be 9 points. Rangers closed the gap to 6 yesterday, but Celtic have responded. Here's Murray. Wanjo. Cameron. Threading it through to Wanjo. And he was clearly tripped by Jamie Smith. He was going to get a yellow card, having only been on a couple of minutes.
Yeah, a bit of afters here with Neil Lennon and Wanjo. I don't think Jamie Smith can complain too much about the late challenge. I don't think Neil Lennon wants to get involved there. Now getting a lecture from Kenny Clark, and he really wants to get himself out of there.
Hearts looking merely for a consolation, but it'll be scant consolation. Manjo's free kick, and actually Moravcik was able to make contact. Oh, Didier Agat's going to be racing away here. Moravcik making up ground in the middle, but Agat he was a bit greedy then because Moravcik would have scored.
Yeah, he's got a tap in if he squares it. Lubo Moravcik not amused at all there. Terrific break there. And Hearts defenders were never getting back on terms, such as the pace of this man. If he looks up, squares it, Moravcik's going to tap in there at the back post.
And Moravcik would have continued his record of scoring in every game against Hearts this season. Wanjo. Boyack. Celtic seeing this one out, another victory, one they had to work hard for. And the game played in its entirety in heavy snow. 2 minutes of added on time. Celtic now scored 98 goals this season in all competitions. Grant Murray. Maybe they are after number 99. Neil Lennon. Moravcik, and he fancies a go, seeing as how Agat had one not so long ago. Your man of the match tonight?
Not typical, is it? I have to say, in every department tonight, Celtic have been outstanding, and I think it's as good a team performance as they've turned in this season, questionably. But certainly for the quality of the goals and you know, the importance of them as well, it has to be Henrik Larsson by a distance, my Bank of Scotland man of the match tonight.
Celtic warming up nicely, if warming is the right word on a night like this, for their old firm week ahead. Wanjo's cross, Cameron was arriving, McSwiggan looking to get a sniff too. Wanjo turned, and Andy Kirk, ooh, onto the roof of the net, goal kick.
They won't want to lose one, Robert Douglas. He lost a slack one late in the game at Stranraer last week. They do like a clean sheet, goalkeepers. He's just scrambling back there. I think he always had it covered, but he won't want to lose one.
Craig Levein. And Hearts unable to pierce that Celtic rear guard. They are heading for a 5th successive clean sheet in the league. It's all over. There is still no stopping Celtic. Hearts gave it a go. They always do when the Old Firm come to the Scottish capital. But Celtic seem to be growing in stature as the season goes on. A big blow for them, though, losing Jos Haren, their influential Belgian defender, with a bad ankle injury early on. But they went on and did the business here in snowy Scotland. And as so often, the man who made the difference, Henrik Larsson. Alan Thompson's free kick, Larsson on the end of it early on. And although it was hard going for a while for Celtic, Thompson and Larsson combined to not so much great effect, but magnificent effect to make it 2-0. And then Larsson completed his hat-trick when he latched on to Didier Agat's cross. The Old Firm encounter to come next weekend. Celtic appear to be in the mood for that. It finishes at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, Celtic 3.
Good night for Celtic then. Now, still to come tonight, over on Sky Sports 1 now, there's action from the Spanish La Liga. Las Palmas against Real Oviedo. That's followed at 9 o'clock by a look at all the weekend's goals in Goals on Sunday. On Sky Sports 2 next, there's live US Tour golf from day 4 of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And coming up on Sky Sports 3 at 9 o'clock, it's a World Cricket Centre with highlights of today's one-day international between Australia and Zimbabwe. Now, don't forget, coming up next Sunday, it's Celtic against Rangers. Now, it's free to air in Scotland, of course, but for all Old Firm fans south of the border, and there are plenty of those, and in Ireland, you can see the big game live on Sky Box Office. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock. For more information on the special box office event, the number to call is 08705 800 888. That's 08705 800 888. At Tynecastle, well, it was Henrik Larsson and Celtic's night. A superb hat-trick for him and a highly significant win for Martin O'Neill's men. Reaction after this.
We will be your terrorists for the season.
Oh my God.
It's getting frantic in the Atlantic and horrific in the Pacific.
This boat's been hijacked.
What?
Maritime madness starting with the premiere of Final Voyage.
Now there's something you don't see every day.
It's a nautical nightmare.
Could it get any worse?
I got a really bad feeling about this.
Oceanic Panic starts tonight at 8 on Sky Movie Max.
Long, long ago, well, last weekend actually, a kind and gentle father took his 2 sons to a magical land. There, villains were shaken by his courage. His bravery knew no limits. And though he couldn't prove himself to be the one true king, he certainly proved he was one cool dad. Disneyland Paris, call 08705030301 and come and live the magic.
Now on DVD.
If we win, we'll have what none of us have ever had before. A country of our own.
The man, the legend, Mel Gibson. Braveheart. Own the legend on DVD now.
2 households. 1 olive and 1 dairy. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene. Though born into strife, 2 star-crossed lovers conspire to overthrow the grudge of generations. Celebrate this union of butter with olive oil. New from Olivia.
It's your Colonel coming at you. Hey, now let me show you something special. My new crispy popcorn chicken. Real tender chicken with a crispy coating in handy bite-sized pieces. Hey, how's that for finger-licking chicken you can pop in your mouth? Slam dunk some today. All you gotta do is shoot on down to KFC. Don't forget to check out my new website.
People are funny, aren't they? Everyone different. Everyone a character. Treat their cars just like their homes. Always ready to invite you in. Oh, well, enough for a packet of fags.
Never leave anything on display. Don't give them an easy ride.
You can't control the weather. If it wants to be dull and grey, and it invariably does, then that's what you get. Food? Now that's a different animal. It's up to you. Go wild in the kitchen. Make it bright, spicy, cool, and ooh, so deliciously sexy. Use your noodle. Unset the menu. Sharwoods. Stir up some passion.
Dove Esmeralda, qualcosa mi dice che non mi ama. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and bright.
Change your tune with the menthol freshness of Tunes.
The new 1.2i course with Easytronic gearbox is better than 2 cars put together. Piffle. Now, to test this, I'll need a small car and a big cheese.
Dick here is a big cheese with 2 cars. Automatic for the city, manual for those weekends upstate. So this is an automatic. But hang on. Now, it's a manual. Automatic, manual, automatic, manual, automatic.
Yes, all right. It's not a toy.
The all-new Corsa.
Automatic.
The biggest small car we've ever built.
Well, at Tynecastle, it's a big win for Celtic in every sense. No wonder they don't want anyone to take their Larson away, as the song goes. 3-0, Henrik bagged a lot. 5 bookings through at Tynecastle tonight. Petrich, Jury and Wanjo of Hearts, Sutton and Smith of Celtic all booked. But this is where it was significant. Celtic had a really, really good first half, and they were well fired up for this game tonight. Hearts came back into it in the second half, but they ended up on the end of a 3-0 doing. That's a sore one for Hearts tonight. Man of the match, Henrik Larsson, who else? And Alan Thompson of Celtic are both with David Tanner.
Henrik, how pleased are you to have come through tonight's game with 3 points in those conditions?
Oh, we're obviously very pleased with the result, especially when we didn't get a game this week, Wednesday, against St. Johnstone. We were all a little bit curious where we stood, and tonight we showed that we play capable of playing well.
Did the fact that Rangers had narrowed the gaps in successive games perhaps affect the mentality of some players?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we know that it's going to be a tough season. There's a lot of points to be played for, and so we just have to concentrate on the task in hand. So it was Hearts, and I think we were concentrated 100% today.
Could you have asked of much more of yourself tonight?
You can always get a few more, but I mean, obviously 2 great balls from Tomo here, and the other one from Didier. I mean, if you get such a service, then you're bound to stick 1 or 2 away.
Alan, how did you enjoy playing that role in the left tonight?
Yeah, it's difficult out there with Bobby being suspended. I was asked to do a job, and just pleased that we got 3 points, and nice to do it in which the manner that we did, you know.
With so many midfielders at the club now, are you all worried that if you're going to get a game or not every week?
No, well, of course, you're a bit apprehensive and what have you, but at the end of the day, there's competition for places and it's healthy, so.
Before you came to Scotland, were you aware of how good Henrik is?
Of course, you watch international football and you watch the big Rangers Celtic games as well, and you see Henrik and what he's done for Sweden in the past, so you know what quality players we've got here, and Henrik epitomises that, you know.
Henrik, you've won championships in Scotland before. How significant do you think tonight's result will be?
Only won 1 championship, so. But I mean, there's a long way to go. I mean, now it's 9 points, but it's a long way to go. So we just have to stay focused and take one game at a time, and then we see end of the season where we are.
Tonight's result has come at a cost. How big a blow is it to lose Jos Volharen?
We don't know how badly injured he is yet, so we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. I think he's in the treatment room at the moment, so we just have to wait and see tomorrow how bad it is, or maybe if we're lucky it's not that bad.
Now, 2 Old Firm games coming up this week. Can you say, is the League One much more important than the League Cup tie?
Oh, as I said before, we concentrate on one game at a time, and now we're going to play them in the Cup, and that's the important one. And then after that, then we have them on Sunday again, so it's going to be an interesting week.
There might be some discussion after this game that you might be rested and some other top players might be rested for the League Cup tie so that you can get into the league game. What would your thoughts be on that?
I don't know anything about it, so we just have to wait and see.
Would you want to be rested for the League One?
No, I don't. I always love to play, but it's up to the gaffer what he has in mind.
OK, it's a vital week, and this is a good start for you, Henrik. Alan, I'll allow you to present the Bank of Scotland SPL Man of the Match award.
Hello, Henrik. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another great performance from Henrik Larsson tonight. He's got a few of those in his cellar, Charlie. He'll be getting his own label soon, I would have thought.
Well, I think he's starting to enjoy it, isn't he? I think there's no doubt that this is a special talent indeed, and it's tremendous to watch him in full flow. There's times that he just is patient. He's not in the game for 5 or 10 minutes, which you anticipate all strikers go through. But boy, when he gets a half chance, he doesn't half waste any time, does he?
He must be in line, Charlie, to be one of the all-time greats at Celtic.
I think he's already there, Jim. I really believe that. I think a lot of the judgment tends to be, you know, we look back, people like myself in the past, and look back in the Lisbon Lions, and they tend to judge you in the championship medals or the big honours that you've won. Henrik pointing out there he's only won one championship so far. But I think as an individual, he's certainly up there among the line, some of the greats.
But Charlie, you're right. From the off tonight, Celtic were so fired up for this match, and that was the significant factor, wasn't it?
Well, I thought it would be the case, because I think Martin, when he picked his team tonight, he got Volharen back. Obviously, he was going to be missing the game at Perth. But you can see the quality that comes in from Alan Thompson. There's great pace on it. Henrik is gambling in front of Grant Murray, who's man marking him, but he just gives him a torrid time. He gets that half yard, and he's lethal in that position. He's brilliant in the air for, you know, what is he, 5'10" or so. He's brilliant at climbing in the air. That was the injury problem for Volharen. I think the problem for him was coming down. He looked as if he was all right in landing, but he just landed half boot, his back studs catch Jury's boot, and what it did, it put his weight to the left side.
Yeah.
And that was him. You know, it's hopefully it's not as serious as a fracture, but if it is, then Celtic will need to get on with it. But Agatha did mention that I think he would be a key player for Celtic tonight. That pace, that run, I mean, his final ball, maybe just a little bit forced, but in saying that, it does give Celtic another dimension. Thompson's got a beautiful left foot, but not the same pace, but he's got that pace. He's prepared to go and commit people, and of course, you know, Vega, set pieces that David Provan mentioned tonight, Celtic are an asset. Big advantage of them going forward now, Vega and others. But Petric, I think tonight's defending was pretty poor, lethargic. I think it was lazy defending, and I think Naomi, who can't be faulted again for any of the goals tonight. Hearts, I think, came into after the first half there, Jim. Best chance of the first half, Andy Kirk. He tried hard. I think Craig Levein can look at you, Steve, and say, well, my players gave me all the effort. You know, they're prepared to work for each other, they're spirited, but there was no real invention. I think Celtic had all the class tonight, all the dominance. I think at times Hearts were just hanging on. If Celtic would have just taken a little bit more care in the final, I mean, look at that. That's brilliant movement, great mobility, great passing. And I think Martin has to look at every department in his team tonight, and he cannot have a go at anybody.
And you're right, Charlie, it's his team, because I think for the first time tonight, a record 7 of O'Neill's signings in that Celtic lineup.
He's starting to make that impression now. I think he's gradually worked away with the base of what he had, which was pretty good. I mean, Hearts came back in just before the half-time break, and I thought, yeah, they've got a little half chance now. They'll start to get a response from Craig Levein and his players for the second half, because they really finished it stronger. Robert Douglas is the only one. You know, he's came for a few. Tonight, that was the only mistake he made when he came for it. But I don't think that is his big asset. I think he has to work on that side of the game. And I think coming up to the big Rangers games, that is a problem you have to worry about.
So are they in perfect shape now to meet Rangers? On this evidence, they look pretty much so.
Simply because of one reason, Volharen's out.
Really? He'll make that big difference?
I think it makes a big difference to them, because he's been rock solid, he's been so reliable, and I think that is the one problem that Martin faces. Tommy Boyd, this could have been a big change in the game if that would have went in. It would have been unfortunate for Tommy Boyd and Celtic. It's a great cross from Cameron. Robert Douglas stranded. But what a run this is. Watch this. Skips by the post. Just bide your time. Henrik Larsson not in picture. Here he comes now. It's a great cross and a wonderful finish. But Grant Murray as a defender should have stepped up. I think he could have played him offside. But look at the cross. It's beautifully weighted. Great run. The timing is there. The pace is already on it, so he just needs to touch it. Just needs to glide it in the corner. And it's a sensational finish from a sensational player. And again, the link up with Agathe. There's the pace, the direct running ability. Adjusts. Lovely cross behind him. One touch off the chest. Dispatched beautifully into the net. I think, you know, we can look at great players in the past, and Larsson is playing in a team who's not won a great amount of honours, and is still scoring goals for fun. Partner Sutton, he's partnered so many, and it's a wonderful performance and wonderful result for Martin O'Neill and Celtic.
It certainly was. It was Celtic's night. 3-0 they won at Tynecastle tonight, but Hearts have got a lot of soul searching to do themselves. Let's hear now from their manager, Craig Levine. He is with David Tanner.
Craig, what did you say to the players after that defeat?
Well, I think they're just as disappointed as I am. You know, I didn't feel that we probably did ourselves justice tonight. No complaint about the work rate. I thought we worked extremely hard against a very good side, but we just couldn't pin Larsson down. I mean, he's had three great opportunist strikes.
Was Henrik Larsson the only difference between the sides tonight?
No, I don't think so. He's the one that scored the 3 goals, so from that point of view he was. But no, for spells I thought we did okay, you know, 10, 15 minutes here, but I felt they were the better side. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I feel that he was the difference from the point of view of goals. There's no doubt about that.
Could any of those goals have been prevented by your defence?
Well, we talked about that. We sort of Grant Murray was given the job of marking him, but he's got to cross him the front of him twice, and Grant's worked hard. You know, he's worked hard to try and contain him, but Larsson's a very good player, and I think that Grant will learn from that. There's no doubt about it.
A few years ago, you might have been the man to have been given the job of marking a player like Henrik Larsson. Would that have been one that you would have looked forward to, in all honesty?
Well, he's a smashing player, you know, and I think that Celtic have got themselves a